Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Devin Adams, and I am a Fortinet instructor here in Tempe, Arizona for Dynamic Worldwide. And I've been recording these these videos for the people who take my class. Okay, so it's getting a little bit later, but I really didn't want to leave you guys hanging from the last couple of videos, especially because I saw some comments about, really, why would you even do this? Well, we're leading up to that. So, and it really comes into play when we start adding those redundant VPN tunnels. So, just like with our internet performance rule that we did earlier, we can do the same thing with our VPN tunnels. So let's go ahead and do it. So now keep in mind eventually, and I mean like this week, keep my fingers crossed. The whole idea here is, we don't need the SD-WAN rules for the loopback. I mean, those are just for health checks. But if the FortiGates don't know about a route where it came from, it will drop it. And unfortunately, that's kind of the that's kind of the roundabout way that I'm doing these things, is because right now we really don't have any rules for our our uh, our management interface reaching out to these remote sites. So I'm just using the loopback. So I'm trying to say, if it doesn't make sense yet, just keep waiting for a couple of videos. I'll just leave it at that. So um, but basically things are going to start flowing a lot better once we start getting that, oh, excuse me, guys, that dynamic routing through our IPsec. So, anyways, but that's gonna come a little bit later on, not too later. But all right, I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's just do this. Are you guys ready? So in the last video, we created our tunnel to Texas. Now we're just gonna add a redundant tunnel to New York City. Now there's a full redundancy versus a partial redundancy when it comes to IPsec, and it really has to come down to how much complexity you want to invest in. So, what I'm going to do here is just build a tunnel from our WAN 2 to their WAN 2 as our backup tunnel. All right. And maybe later on in another video, I'll do the redundant tunnels crisscrossing the two. But for right now, I am definitely not going to do that this late at night. So, I can't even log into my PC. All right, here we go. So this is the health checks that we did yesterday. Okay, now we just got to add in that second tunnel. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go to our SD-WAN. All right, and we are going to create new. And here we're going to say VPN, and I'm going to say 2NYC2. All right, and the remote IP address is actually going to be the redundant connection. And the outgoing interface is going to be one of our redundant connections. All right, here we go. Create. And just like before, all right, we are going to assign an IP address to that VPN tunnel. It just makes working with the SD-WAN easier in my experience. So here we go. Normally there isn't IP addresses associated here, but we're going to do it anyways. So here we go. So 10, 10, 20, and if you guys remember right, this was 1, this was 2. So we're going to just do 3 and 4. All right. So, all right. With a /32, make it pingable. Pingable. I don't even know why I'm talking like that. All right. I'm getting tired, guys. Okay, there we go. So that is one side. All right. Now, before we do anything else, actually, no. You know what? We'll just do it. So here we go. I better just add it in there just to do it, so I don't forget later on, because I did that before. All right, there we go. So here it's saying, hey, here's a redundant tunnel. All right, there's the other side. Hit apply. I didn't do that last time either. And let's go ahead and do the other side. So let's go to New York. All right, hopefully this is a little bit more responsive. Okay, and we're going to do it all over again. So let's create new. All right, VPN tunnel. Okay, this one's going to say 2HQ2. And the remote IP address is going to be 2.200.2.1. And the outgoing interface is going to be our second connection. All right. And that should create the tunnel, as long as I didn't fat finger those passwords. I'm suddenly thinking I did, but that's okay. All right, and then let's go ahead and assign IP address to it. So, okay, here we go. Pop it open, and there we go, Frontier. I just randomly thought of carriers, guys. So there we go. All right. So if you remember, we did 10, 10, 24, and that other end's going to be 10, 10, 23 with the /32. All right. And now we can actually add it to our SD-WAN. So let's go back to our SD-WAN. And now we can select it and put that other IP address as the gateway. All right. Ugh. All right. Pass it off to 3. We'll hit OK. Okay. Now, before this is going to really do anything for us, right? There's a couple of other things that we have to do. For starters, let's go ahead and go to our performance SLAs, okay? And we have a VPN check already. All right. What's nice about this is that we can still use the same loopback, but this time add in that second tunnel. Okay. So that way, it will be able to see the statistics for both of them. All right. And as you can see, it's working. So we now have measurements between 2 different carriers for 2 different VPN tunnels. All right. So our health checks are going down both of those tunnels, measuring which one has the better performance between the 2. All right. So not too bad. Let's go ahead and do it to our headquarters FortiGates. All right. So here we go. All right. Wow, that's a big old beautiful pie charts. Oh, makes me so happy. Okay, so let's go to Performance SLA. And this is what I meant by, once things get rolling, it's going to be a lot easier to add these redundant tunnels, right? Because we've already put in the framework. We've already put in, the work pretty much. All right. So, and you'll be able to see here that we'll have statistics on both of them. Okay. So when does it start? When does this start doing its thing? When can we actually start pushing traffic down the one that has the best connection? All right, well, that has to do with their SD-WAN rules. Now, normally, we wouldn't have to write a policy check for these health checks. All the FortiGate needs to know is where that route came from. Now, I kind of rigged it. So, because it was here, it went ahead and let that happen. That's fine. But let's go ahead and click in here and let's add in our best quality. All right. And we're going to add both of these connections. And here is the New York check that we did. And we'll do it for latency and we'll hit OK. And now it's going to pick which tunnel to use depending on the quality of the check. Okay, so not too bad, right, guys? Anyways, so let's go ahead and yeah, let's test it out. Are you guys ready? Why not? So here we go. I'm going to open up a command prompt. Okay. Now, if you remember when I wrote the rule, I simply said, and actually, you know what? I better show you because it was a couple of videos ago. All right. So let's go to our policies here. Okay. I pretty much said, always with the ICMP. So the SD-WAN popping out to the loopback. Okay. So basically, this is going to allow me to ping it from one of my addresses, hopefully. Let's take a look here. So let me ping the loopback in Texas. All right. Or, sorry, New York City. And there it is. Okay. But which VPN tunnel is it taking? Well, it should be taking the one that has the best quality. Okay. So let's go ahead and check that. So let's go to our FortiView. Let's go down to our all session. Now there's going to be a lot going on here, I bet. Okay, so looks like Windows updates or something is going on. Anyways, um, let's see here. There it is, right there. So if we go ahead and take a look and add in that column that says destination interface and hit apply, we see that it's actually leaving out New York City to VPN Tunnel. All right, it made that decision based off of the quality of the link. So what I'm going to do here is that I am going to filter out. Nope. Nope. Oh, come on. Add filter. Thank you, Devin. Device. I'm sorry, guys. Source IP address. My bad. And this should be our domain controller. All right, so there we are. And then these are DNS lookups. Okay, so let's go ahead and trash it, and let's see how quickly it will flip over to the other VPN tunnel. So let's say some bozo backed into a backhoe or something like that. And this is exactly what these net term boxes do for us. And let's add a, let's see here, delay. That's latency, right, guys? Just kidding. All right. Let's go add a 1000 millisecond delay on there. Okay, so all right, so if we come back here, and before I do anything, I just want to show you guys, if we go to our network and we go to our performance SLAs, we should see that reflected. All right, see that port 2? So we know that there is something horribly wrong happening through that tunnel. And if you guys notice right here too, I mean, that's no bueno also. That's no good. Okay, so and that could just be, you know, something happening with that carrier temporarily, so on and so forth. Okay, but did it switch tunnels? Did it switch tunnels? Now, I did a SLA, right? I don't know if I told it to actually remove it. Okay, just did the best one. So let's see how aggressive this was. So let's go over to our FortiView. Let's go back to our all sessions, okay? And there it is, right up there. And now it is still using the New York City 2. And you know what? That actually does not surprise me because it's been established and we really didn't tell it. We didn't really tell it to remove the link if the link got too trashed, okay? We could have done that. Now, you got to remember that it's whenever we establish a new session that the rule gets evaluated. And I guess that this, right, because the link never went down, it never got reevaluated. That's actually expected behavior. All right, so that doesn't surprise me. But let's go ahead and do it again. All right, from a different PC. And this will actually evaluate the rule now that it has a latency. Now let's say that we did want it to go out, we'd have to actually have the SLA remove it. And I did not have it remove it. So I could have. Let's see here. Come on, Devin. There we go. And sorry for the long explanation of how this works, but this is the stuff that they don't go into detail about. So here we go. So let's go ahead and ping that loop back again, but now a different IP address, okay? All right, and let's actually see which tunnel it's taking now. All right, so let's go back to our view here. Let's hit refresh. See how it picked the first tunnel? So how do we actually make it remove it? All right, and not use it if it's bad? That has to do with the SD-WAN rules, okay, of how aggressive it is. All right, so let's go ahead and do that real quickly. Let's say that was our goal. All right, so I'm going to come down here to our let's see here, our network, our SD-WAN rules, okay? Now I said pick the one that has the best latency. Now, if we would have done lowest cost, all right, and if you notice, SLA is here and SLA is here, that is maximized bandwidth. So this will pick both connections. This will pick the one that has the best performance, okay? So, but the fact that it is evaluating the SLA while it's there, all right? Where is my where's my headquarters? Did I not set an SLA? Guys, come on, man. Let's take a look. Oh, that's so bad. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, I didn't. Yeah, so SLAs pretty much say if you want to participate, make sure that you meet these thresholds. Now, I'm in a lab environment, so I'm actually going to keep that a little bit higher than I normally would. All right, but if you notice, we want this to be removed. All right, so we're going to hit OK. And now that we have an SLA on there, you notice that it's in the red, so it's going to disqualify it. Now, did our end users see any drops? Well, no, that's because it still needs to be reevaluated from the kernel. All right. So, but meaning like, it'd have to be reestablished and reevaluated. See how the latency is still up there, and that's because it's still in the session table itself. That is actually normal behavior because it was already established. But let's go ahead and take a look at our FortiView. I thought it'd be more aggressive than that. I guess it wasn't, because the tunnel is still technically up. So FortiView, all sessions. Sorry guys. All right, and as you can see here, and that's because that interface never actually went down. Okay, so but you see how it still picked to New York City. All right, now if I go ahead and I clear this session, okay, it will instantly, I promise you, take the better of the two tunnels. It's just because it was kind of stuck there in my session tunnel. Anyways, so and then and that's because the interface never went down. Now there's different things that you can do to even be more aggressive than that. I might leave that for a different video. But that's just kind of how the expected behavior of it works with the FortiGates. So unless a policy is rewritten, right, a firewall policy, or there's like an actual route change, meaning like an interface goes down, but any newly established VPN connections, once the health check goes the way that it goes, should aggressively push it down. So, and I wonder if a lot of that has to also do with, it being a ping loop up there and it not timing out. So, but let's go ahead and bring it back to life here. So let's say they fixed the problem. All right. Okay. And we should be able to reflect that in our network SD-WAN performance SLAs. And you'll actually start seeing these statistics clear up. All right. So let me hit the refresh. See how that's working? All right. And then eventually it'll all turn back to green. Eventually. I'm also in a lab environment too. But you notice that it's starting to clear it up over here, and it is an average too, by the way, guys. See how we can see it falling down, and we're at latency right now. There's jitter, there's packet loss, right? So, I mean, I promise you, that was kind of a bad example all around. I thought it'd be a little bit more aggressive there, and it really wasn't too bad. But you still got to admit, it is still kind of cool. So, especially for a free feature of the FortiGates. So, let's actually go back to the FortiView. Look at all sessions here. Hit the refresh. There's my ping loop. See how it's still using that first tunnel, right? But let's see what happens if I establish a new one. Here we go. So let's ping 10, 127, 0, 1. All right. Did I get the right IP address there? No. Come on, Devin. There we go. Let's see which tunnel it's taking this time. Ah, you see though? Right, guys? It's constantly evaluating when it builds a session which tunnel has the best connection of the two. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end it there. I know that didn't go as smooth as I wanted it to. I thought it'd be more aggressive. I guess it wasn't. So, I want to know what the flip is still going on in my marketing PC. Did I like leave this thing on? What are you doing, Betty? This is my squirrel moments for the video. So we built these Windows PCs like years ago. Yeah, Windows updates. I have no idea. So, all right, Betty, shady Betty. Anyways, not too bad though. All right, guys, I'll end it right there. I know. Hopefully someone was impressed somewhere. So, anyways, probably starting in the next couple of days, guys, we'll go ahead and we'll add the Texas office and we'll do our IBGP. And then you'll see once everything's kind of set up the way it's supposed to set up, we can remove the loopbacks and actually start doing rules based off of things like, I don't know, like our web server over here, or maybe linking an LDAP bind through to these two sites here. So sky's the limit. So, all right, guys. I guess until next time.